I've been summoned to come here today to knock some fucking sense into you beautiful woman. And this is coming from a dumb delulu bitch who was a professional clown. My legs were not working like they used to before, but I finally stood up. I am so outraged by the amount of women I've been seeing settling for less with no ring on top of that. So I think it's time that I just come on here and ruffle some feathers, shall we? What is up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Rehinge Diaries with your host, Ali Karza. So, this podcast episode, I am so excited for because not only am I gonna ruffle some feathers in a way that I feel like y'all gonna need to hear what I'm gonna have to say, but for anyone who's gonna be listening or watching this episode, and if you feel like I'm attacking you and you're just like really pissed off, I want you to know that to continue to the end of the episode because I am gonna expose my experiences of being a retired clown. I promise you get to laugh at me in the end because I've been there. I'm only talking about this because I feel like I am more than qualified to talk about this topic because once upon a time, I was a dumb bitch, but I stood up, you guys. And I really want this episode to help women out there, men, anyone out there who are in a position when they feel like they're settling for less and they feel like they're in this, uncomfortable position. And I want to tell you what I feel like you should do or provide you a new perspective. So with all that being said, I'm just like, I really feel like this is like on brand for me. We got the papers going, no stains this time. So, am I elevating? Am I growing? I don't know. Like, I just can't wait till money comes my way because what the fuck is this shit? Like, get a fucking metal straw. I don't know. Times are hard, you guys. Like, this economy has me by the damn fucking pussy lips. I don't know. I feel like anyone can relate to that, okay? The economy got me so fucked up. So, yes, I'm gonna waste papers from my job and I'm gonna steal my freaking straw from my Starbucks cup instead of getting a metal straw, okay? That's just the position that we're in today. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode. So, I feel like us as women have been programmed and conditioned to think that the more loyal we are to a man, the better that we're going to be treated, the more love we're going to receive, because I feel like that's common sense, right? Like, oh my God, if I show more love, more nurturance to this person, the more loyal that I am to this person, they should see the value in that, right? They should see, oh my God, I can't do anything in the world to jeopardize this love that I'm receiving from this person. I feel like we all been conditioned to think that. Women especially, right? Right. I have to tell you guys, we've been lied to. We've been fed a very fucking shitty fairy tale perspective because that's not fucking true at all. Like, I had to learn the hardest way anyone could ever learn that is completely false. Like, false in a way that it's actually something you have to grieve. Like, it's something you really have to grieve knowing that is not true at all. We've seen it with the most beautiful women in pop culture. I'm sure your mom, your grandma, your fucking auntie. We've all seen that person that's so beautiful and that's given so much of themselves to a person and they get treated like shit. They are not appreciated the way that they deserve. We've seen it all. It's a tale old as time, yet it's kind of insane that this is something we've been fed since growing up, I'm sure as a child. This is coming from a bitch who's had a lot of failed situationships. I had a long-term relationship that led me to being homeless, $1,000 in debt, and literally just the worst breakup you can possibly think of. So I feel like I know a thing or two when it comes to just giving loyalty that is not deserved. In my personal opinion, and this is going to be the main conversation I hand for this episode, is it's going to ruffle some feathers because I know a lot of people have their own opinions in regard to this. But I feel that if you're with a man or with a person, whatever, and it's been more than 2 years, and there's not a ring on that finger, he does not want you. And not only that, it's equivalent to a situationship at this point. Because hear me out. When it comes to situationship, you are one. It's like when it comes to a relationship, period. Because I know that's going to be controversial. Because someone's going to be like, "No, Ali, it's not a situationship because we're in a relationship." It's the idea, and it's equivalent to a situationship. Because a situationship, it's like, oh, I want all the benefits from a relationship. I want all these things I can get from you, but without committing to you. Like basically making you my placeholder until I find someone that I feel is exactly what I want. Whatever. Don't you think that shit correlates with you being, I don't care if there's an actual fucking title of a relationship. You guys been together for so long, you have kids, you have a house together, blah, 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 but there's no ring on your finger. What the fuck is the end goal? And unless you're like, we don't believe in marriage, whatever, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But we're talking about the people that want to get married, that they're looking for. That's like their number one relationship goal. And that's a thing that I feel like, you know, that girl, Shara7, Sprinkle Lady, she talks about it so much. And I feel like it's something I live by. We will talk about how I go about relationships and how it's been so tarnished by my last relationship and that like unhealthy loyalty you give to someone, that it is so important that your relationship goal needs to be so beyond important than any guy, woman, like, you know, whatever person you are interested in. It needs to be more than what they are value wise. Like you need to value, for example, I want to get married and have kids. I don't give a fuck if this person has a horse cock, has like, you know, has all these nice things that look good on paper, but if they're not going to give you that main relationship goal that you're looking for, marriage, children, they gotta skedaddle. I don't give a fuck how much you want them. That is something that is gonna have to like be something you learn through time, through repetition, through you having to learn how to greet people and take it for what it is. Take every single person that comes by for what it is my goal is more important than what any sort of feelings I have for you, you know, blank and point blank point period. Our first example we're going to use today is Queen Naja and Clarence, because she recently, you know, there was I believe a YouTube video that went viral recently that they were on, because they're both YouTubers, and she was talking about a couple, basically how they were together for 10 years. There was no ring on the woman's finger, and she's like, 10 years is crazy, I will leave. But then everyone started scratching their head and raising their eyebrow, because they're like, okay, well, y'all been together for 6 years. That is still crazy. Like, that is still crazy.
Doing that for women.
I will leave
after 10 years.
Yes, I definitely. 10 years is crazy. It is, because
what if she's like 48?
48?
Like, what if she's like 48? You don't know how old that lady is.
Babe, your life is not over at 48 or 50. I've seen 50-year-old women. J-Lo is past 50. Like, it's beautiful women out there. You can still get yourself together. It's never too late. I don't think it's too late.
Nah, it's never too. I'm not saying it's too late. I'm just saying I think that would make it a little more
difficult.
Yeah, you just don't know what predicament she's in, because you gotta understand, in order to put yourself in her shoes, like, you're saying it easy, like, oh, I would leave, but she hasn't left, obviously, because she's been there for 10 years. Comment, so she's not leaving for a
But if that's something that you genuinely like really want, and if you find out that your partner like has no, first of all, like he said, see if he has intentions of doing it. Have y'all ever talked about it? Like,
he might not. I'm not gonna lie, he might not. 10 years, he might not.
Yeah, but if that's something that you want, but maybe he doesn't want, then maybe you need to break up with your boy.
Like, you cannot sit there and say, oh my God, a decade of my life, I gotta leave. Why does it have to be 10 years? 6 years and no ring? And let's not even talk about the fact that Queen and Clarence obviously been together for 6 years, but they also have a kid together. Ah! And according to Queen, she was, you know, basically saying on a recent video that I saw on TikTok, she was basically saying, oh, well, Clarence's excuse was that he has a lot of things that he wants to work on, like his, you know, his branding and stuff like that. So that's why he doesn't want to give me the ring. But we talked about it.
Yeah, it ain't no rush. But it's not a rush for marriage, but it is like a little rush for like the ring. Because it's like, okay, at least if you propose, then we know where we headed. We've had conversations about it. Like, I know that he's going to, but it's like, okay.
6 years?
Yeah. But, you know, sometimes men, they want to get certain things out the way. Like, he wants to put out his clothing line.
Pardon me? I beg your finest pardon. His excuse for not getting you a ring, it's because of him. It's something that has to do with him and his career. Because that's just telling me that he is prioritizing something else other than you. What have we come to? Then I think the thing that kind of blew my mind the most, but I still have to sit there and think that it's a troll, is that she bought herself an engagement ring. She went on live flaunting it and talking it out, saying, I got myself a ring so when I'm in public, blah, 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 blah. I think that's just a troll. Because, like, believe it or not, the timing on that is actually kind of genius. Like, everyone's roasting you because you don't have a ring on your finger because of the man that you've been with for years. And now you're, like, flaunting an engagement ring that you bought for yourself. She's definitely trolling, but, like, there is women out there that have done that in all seriousness. And that's something that needs to be talked about, because please stand up. Oh my goodness, like, rise, like, please, like, oh my fucking gosh. And it's like, and the thing that really does blow my mind, like, actually I cannot wrap my head around it at all, is the fact that when it comes to Queen Naja, it's like you sat there for so long always wanting to have a marriage. Like, you can tell that that's always something she's prioritized so much, as a family, love. Like, she's always been someone you can tell that really just genuinely wanted love in the deepest form. And Queen Naja is a sad case, period. Like, actually, like, it's insanity. Why the fuck are you prioritizing being a YouTuber than being, like, she's so fucking talented. Like, she's someone that I feel like does not see her worth at all. Like, in regard to her talent, in regard to a relationship, it's so fucking sad. Like, I want to talk to her and just, like, hug her. Like, truly. I don't know if that's just me. Like, when I see this, I just want to hug her, because I've been watching her since day one, when she was with the fucking Rubber Ducky, like, that fucking guy, whatever the fuck his name is, Chris, I don't know. When she was with Rubber Ducky, like, I just couldn't wrap my head around the fact that she was so talented. She is so funny. She's a personality. And it's like, you can do so much more for yourself. So when she left Rubber Ducky and then she found Claire Bear, it's like, I'm like, okay, maybe he's going to help her elevate. Because I think that's another beautiful thing. Like, of course, maybe she moved on too soon, but at least maybe you're going to find someone that's going to help you see your worth, which, you know, I don't really agree with that 1,000%. But, you know, people come into your life for reasons that we don't know until it happens, the experience. And I'm here thinking, Clarence is going to be the one to help her elevate her career. He's going to make her see her worth that she maybe hasn't seen before, and really teach her a new form of self-love. I feel like that's something a partner should do. Period. Instead, she really hasn't been like pop. I don't remember the last time she's really had a successful single. Not that I'm really talking shit, but it's like, I feel like when she first started her music career, you can feel the passion and the excitement. I don't feel that from her anymore. And I think that's something she even expressed a lot from interviews, when she's like, oh, I feel like people don't take me serious because I was this YouTuber. I was doing relationship like pranks and shit like that. I'm like, girl, you gotta start off somewhere. Like, that doesn't fucking matter. Like, you're so talented. You don't need any of these men. Like, you can sing. Like, you can fucking sing. Start like writing and putting your whole soul into your music. I'm sure there'll be one person fucking listening. That's what the only thing that should ever matter when it comes to your art, is at least one person will listen. And I feel like, I'm sorry, I just had a rant about her real quick, because like, it's just insanity. Like, it comes to every aspect when it comes to her, is not only in her relationship and her career. Like, she is someone who does not know her worth. Maybe I'm diving deeper into that aspect for anyone who's out there who can resonate with that situation. Like, if you're with someone who, you know, is kind of either holding you back from elevating to your highest self, or if you met someone that should have really helped you, but instead is like robbing you from your happiness or robbing you from what you really want. It's like, please stand the fuck up and realize that it's like, a man is not gonna, like I said from the beginning, I don't think you should meet a man and have them show you what your worth is. I think it's beautiful if they show you new perspectives and stuff like that, but you need to find that for yourself. Like, you need to love yourself, because if you don't, these men, when they sense any sort of insecurity, when they sense any source of desperation, you are fucked. So that's why Shira 7, I feel like she gets the backlash that she gets, because a lot of people are like, she's like basically teaching you to be narcissistic. You gotta be a little bit. Like, just a little bit. Don't be abusive now. But, like, you had to really put yourself on a fucking pedestal. Because, ooh, like, these men are getting sassy. Like, they're getting way too fucking sassy, to the point where y'all gonna be bumping purses at this point. Like, golly, what the fuck? Like, these men getting a little too sassy for my liking. Now, this one, I'm a little scared to talk about, because Jhené Aiko, oh my God, I really want to interview her one day. There's so many celebrities I want to interview, and it's like, I do want to interview Big Sean as well. Like, them as individuals, I think they're so fascinating, and I'm so intrigued by. But their relationship, we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it. So, as many of you guys know, or if you didn't know, Big Sean recently has come out and said that he's been with Jhené Aiko for years now. They have a baby together. Same situation. They've been with someone for so many years. They got a baby, but they're here huffing and puffing, acting like a fucking child is not that much of a commitment than a fucking ring.
You look good, for sure.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you marry me?
It's in the works. Don't even trip.
Whatever.
Cause you take anything and just make it everything. I kept my phone on silent ever since you got a ring. Funny, right? And I never cheated. Not even.
I think at this point it's starting to get embarrassing. Every chance she gets on a public forum, whether it's on live or on stage, she's asking this man, when is he going to marry her, or why hasn't he married her yet? And the answer is simple, because he doesn't want to. See, the thing about it is there are so many women that think if you prove to a man how loyal you could be, that as a reward, he'll give you a ring. But all he'll do is take advantage. As long as you're willing to give, a taker is always willing to take. You've given him years. You've given him your body. You've given him children. And that man is still like, I'm not sure about you. He can't tell you that he's wasting your time because then you'll leave. At some point, you have to hear what the man is not saying. I don't care how good it's going. I don't want to be married. Even if he says he wants to, he'll hint around that it's coming. It's not coming. That's how he gets more years out of you. As long as you let a man waste your time, that's exactly what he's going to do.
Big Sean speaking about his perspective on like marriage, he starts bringing up divorce rates, and just saying like, oh my God, I can't be with Jhené, or I can't marry her in that way because there's so much work that needs to be done. What? Oh my God. Like that. Oh my God. That would send me into like an orbit. What the fuck? Like, you mean to tell me that Jhené Aiko has sat there, like, been so faithful to this man, despite a lot, because there's been cheating rumors, girl. There's been a lot of buffoonery in that relationship. But the fact that she stood by you, gave you a child, and you're gonna be out there publicly basically saying, I don't know how I really feel about this woman, okay? Like, I don't know. Like, there's so much work that needs to be done. Am I the only one? But wasn't there like a relationship he was in where he proposed within 6 months? Because I'm sorry, that is the epitome of what this conversation is going to be. A man knows. Like, I've had so many conversations with not only guys, but exes and stuff like that. And I'll be like, when does a guy know about a woman? Like, how long does it take? And there's been a huge conversation in regards to that, and I don't know if women operate the same way, because I'll tell you from personal experience, I know within the first couple of minutes. And I know within the first couple of minutes when I'm talking to someone, am I intrigued to get to know them more? Or is it an immediate connection? I'm like, oh my God, I immediately know that like I want this person in my life long term. Or this person's just a really good person for a friendship. Or you need to skedaddle. I don't want to see you. I want you out of my sight immediately. I feel like I know within a couple of minutes. And I've known many, many men who we had that same conversation and they agree. Like, a lot of them say it's quicker. Like, a lot of them say within like 2 minutes, they know, oh, I want this woman to meet my mom eventually one day. Of course, like, it takes time for you to like really know a person. But I feel like a lot of people would know within a couple minutes how deep a connection is going to eventually be. Like, if it's surface level, was like so immediately and you feel like you don't hit it off immediately, then it's like, okay, maybe we're going to be friends. Or maybe if you're one of those crazy fucks who wants a situationship, then yeah, there's that. But I feel like within a couple fucking minutes, you know what you're going to be, the role someone's going to play in your life or the role you're going to play in someone's life. So all that fucking buffoonery of men trying to sit there and be like, I know it's been a couple years and I know this person gave me a child. I just feel like there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. Or I don't know if I'm necessarily if I'm ready for marriage just yet. You do. You do. And the answer is no, but you're really very much being a coward for just saying you're not. You don't see that in the person that you're with. Why? Because a lot of people don't want to admit it. It's the same aspect like a situationship. Because when you're in a situationship with a man, they're not going to sit there and say, oh, I don't see anything with you whatsoever. I am not attracted by you. I don't feel like they're not going to sit there and read you to filth on how they feel about the situation because they lose access to you. Because anyone in the right state of mind, I beg, someone in the right state of mind would say, oh, this man basically just told me that I'm not good enough for him. And that's fine. If I'm not good enough for you, I'm good enough for somebody else, or I'm good enough for me. So I'm a skedaddle. Like, anybody in the right state of mind would do that. Like, they would revoke access. But a man is not going to sit there and really lay shit out for how it really is, because then it's going to basically say, hey, I don't fucking want you, and you're going to want to revoke access. They're going to lose the benefits that they get from you without committing. So that's when I feel like we all need to rise the fuck up, bitch. We need to rise the fuck up. Like, why the hell are you going to sit there and let a man... Do I need to go any further? And I feel like the thing that isn't talked about enough is the fact that people are not realizing that if it's not giving you a ring on your finger after 2 years, if he's not giving you everything that you are desiring out of the relationship, you are a placeholder. Like, men have no issues whatsoever giving you a baby. You want to know why? Like, let's really talk about that. Like, men are going to sit there and act like, well, I gave you a baby, so why are you going to want marriage? Like, marriage is just a paper. He don't fucking want you, boo. Because it's a tale old as time. Have you ever seen a man whipped over a woman? And it's usually the type of women that treat them like shit or cheating on them. Like, men have folded for women. Like, we've seen it all throughout history, throughout anywhere. I'm sure you can name someone of, like, men being whipped before. It's just not for you. But men are very much capable of being whipped and giving you anything and everything. So it's like, it's just a tale old as time. Like, men have no issue giving you a baby. So don't act like, well, I don't have a ring, but he did give me a baby, so that's a form of commitment, right? No, because men are going to sit there for one. They might not say it out loud, like I said, but we're going to feel like if I give her a baby, at the end of the day, the baby is going to be her full-on responsibility. Like, of course, a good man is going to sit there and play their part or whatever, being a father. But in their head, they're going to think, well, at the end of the day, that baby's very much her responsibility, and it's not going to hold me back from eventually finding the woman that I'm desiring, the one that I really feel like I want to commit to. They don't want us to know that, girls. They do not want us to know about that, girls. Because what does that do? We're back in control. We're back to decide if we're going to revoke access or not. I really want this episode to provide a new perspective for a woman out there, a man, and whatever you decide to identify as. I want this to really sit there and really have your mind thinking on, why am I choosing to settle for this? What am I afraid of letting go? Because with the Jhené Aiko and Big Sean situation, she's committing. She's committing. Like, she's out there loving this man, giving him everything that he wants. Yet he's publicly telling the world how unsure he is about her. Can we rise the fuck up? And she's beautiful. The audacity these men have to make a woman so beautiful look like, And this is a tale old as time. It's a tale old as fucking time. I know your legs are not working like they used to before, but bitch, stand up. Rise. Like, what the fuck? So now let's talk about my personal experience. And I'm petty as fuck, okay? I'm feeling really petty with my Unhinged Diaries logos cup with my little Starbucks straw. Now, once upon a time, I was with a man for 4 years. We were together for 4 years, and on year 2, that's when I really started noticing that all of his friends had a promise ring. Because I'm pretty sure it's like pretty normal that after year 1 you get the promise ring, and then after that is when you eventually get your engagement ring or whatever. But I feel like that's something that's very, very common. Like, even my sister got a promise ring on year 1, because that's usually like the biggest indicator of like, hey, I want you to know that I'm serious about you, blah, 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 blah. Forgot to mention, on year 1, my ex cheated on me the same month that I had a miscarriage. Made an episode about that if you're interested. But that should have already painted the picture for me that he did not want to commit to me. And I remember on our 2-year going into our 3-year anniversary, I was like, okay, I was talking to his best friend's girlfriend. And I was like, hey, girlie, I just want to vent. I'm like, when did you get your promise ring? And she's like, oh, on year 1. Because I remember it started clicking in my head. I'm like, everyone's got this is not even an engagement ring. It's a promise ring. And we about to be on 3 years. And I've never gotten any sign of commitment, that like any sign that he wants to commit to me. Like, what in tarnation is going on over here? So I was like, oh my God. I was like, well, on our 3-year anniversary, if this man does not give me a promise ring, I'm out. And mind you, we just got a home together. Like, we just got a home. That was my sign of committing to him. So that's when I started realizing how much of a fucking clown I was. I'm like, wait, I invested thousands of dollars into this house. I'm giving you so much of myself, like so much of my time that I could be pursuing my passion and my dreams. I'm sitting there catering to you, catering to everything that you want. But where's my sign of commitment? I was like, what? I've committed way more than you. So I still to this day think that bitch told him that Allie's gonna leave if you don't give her a promise ring on year 3, on our 3-year anniversary. I'll never forget, it was a 3-year anniversary, and I came home and he surprised me. I'll insert pictures because I'm fucking petty. So he gave me this promise ring, and I remember that his friend came up to us and say, oh my God, are you gonna say anything to it? Like, you know, when someone's proposing to you, they're not like, oh my God, there's a ring on the bed, like pick it up and just like get the fuck over it. Like, no, like if someone really loves you and they got you a ring, they're gonna sit there and like obviously make you see the ring. They're gonna put it on your finger and then like say something a little sweet, right? You see that in the movies. Like, I'm pretty sure that's like common courtesy. No, I remember my ex like just left the bed on like the ring on the bed, and I picked it up, and I remember in that moment I did not feel anything that I felt like I should have felt receiving that ring. And I remember telling that to my sister, and I remember I remember a couple months later, I was telling my sister how I could not get over that feeling. I was like, I remember putting that, like, I remember his friend was like, are you going to put the ring on Allie? Like, say something sweet to her. And that's when she grabs her phone and starts recording him. And that's when he got into like oh, I love you so much. I'm giving you this ring because we've been through so much. And, you know, this is my indicator that I'm going to commit to you. We're going to have a future together. I'm like, if that camera wasn't on and she never said that, you wouldn't have said any of that. And that's like really embarrassing to fucking admit. Like I said, you guys can laugh. I wish I had the button, like the iCarly button where we could just put the laughter. Cause bitch, like stand the fuck up. Like it was so humiliating. Cause I remember like just talking to my sister and I'm like, oh my God, like why did I put that ring on my finger, and then every single day I looked at that ring, I did not feel the way that I felt like I should have felt. Like getting that ring, I knew, I've always told him, I was like, if you give me a ring, I'm gonna cry like the engagement. I'm gonna have boogers coming out of my nose, mocos fucking coming out of my nose and shit. And it's just like, I didn't feel anything. Because I'm like, this was a shut up ring. Like this was very much a shut up ring. And of course, a year later, we fucking broke up. And it was the most embarrassing, humiliating breakup I could ever experience. Because at the end of the day, I invested so much more. And there was no signs of commitment on his end. And at the end of the day, I just can't even begin to describe to anyone listening or watching. When the breakup happened, I remember thinking that my life is over. And that, like I said, me having that ring on my finger, I felt like nothing felt right. I didn't even feel appreciated when receiving the ring. And I was just like, maybe this is not for me. And there was a voice in my head that was telling me this isn't for me and that I deserve better. It was loud almost every day, but I felt like this was the first guy ever that showed me love, like a form of love that I thought was love. I thought it was love. And I was like, I've never had someone show me this form of love. And my biggest fear is that I am never going to receive this love again. I'm afraid that if anyone stands too close to me and really sees me for who I am, that they're going to get scared and they're not going to love me. I'm afraid that someone's not going to love me to this capacity. It has been 2 years since the breakup has happened. You guys, the life that I've created for myself is beyond anything that I could ever wrap my head around. That girl who was practically homeless, thousands of dollars in debt, sleeping on my sister's couch, crying hysterically, figuring out how I'm going to rebuild my life. If you had told that girl that she would have gotten her own space, she'd gotten a nicer job, made so many amazing friends at her job, that I love my job. And I started my own podcast, and I am just like growing it. It's growing. People are following. People are tuning in. And I'm just so much happier than that girl who was living with him, who was constantly catering to what the fuck he wanted. But at the end of the day, there was no signs of commitment on his end. If you had told that girl the life that I've created for myself now, her mouth would be on the floor. Because I thought I was never, ever, ever going to survive that situation. I thought no one was ever going to love me. Do you want to know something? Healing is really realizing that I don't give a fuck if I don't ever date again or love again. Because the love that I built for myself, the confidence that I built for myself, the more I've been so much more in tune to my purpose and my goals, that is so much more meaningful to me than this facade in this world that's painting you this basically this truth that oh my God, you need to be loved. How about loving yourself? You need to love yourself first before someone loves you. Don't get me wrong. I would love. I want to be loved. Don't get me wrong. If you tuned into my episodes thus far, you would know that I used to have this deep insecurity of wanting to be loved. It was something I so desperately wanted so bad. I would have done anything in the world for love, for someone to love me, for just someone to tell me what I wanted to hear. You want to know something? Now I don't give a fuck. Because I know I'm the prize. I know the role that I play in relationships. I know my loyalty. It's beyond anything that a lot of people would even expect. Because don't get me wrong, I'm not ugly. I'm not ugly. For the people that are listening or watching, or especially for the people that are watching, you would know I'm not ugly. So I get a lot of people throwing themselves left and right at me, but I don't fold in a relationship. I don't cheat, and no one can sit there and say that I fucking cheated before. You can't clock me with that. I am faithful as they come. So at the end of the day, I put myself on a high fucking pedestal. Why I gotta sit there and think, oh, I need a man to love me? No, a man should be it's a fucking privilege to be loved by me. Because the love that I have is so unconditional. I don't expect shit from anybody. I love because when I give love to someone, I don't expect shit in return. Which is probably my fucking problem. But that's just who I am. That's a fucking prize. That's a fucking privilege to experience. And I want women, men, anyone they're listening or watching to fucking develop that mindset. And this wasn't something that was developed overnight. It's been almost 2 years since the breakup, and it took me a very, very long time to develop this mindset. And it's just something that is going to save you. My goals in dating is I want someone who has money and who's going to invest in me. And that might sound very, oh, she a gold digger, loud and proud. Because you know what? The last time I dated somebody that was broke, that should put me thousands of dollars in debt. And they get to live a very nice, comfortable lifestyle. And I had to live sleeping on a fucking inflatable mattress for a year, picking up the pieces of all the damage that they fucking provided to me. So when I tell you I'll be damned to ever date a broke man ever again, a broke anyone ever again, you got me so all the way fucked up. And it's just something that I really prioritize. I want someone who has money, who's going to sit there and not over-sexualize me and act like that's the only valuable thing about me. I want someone who wants to listen to me, who wants to stimulate my mind, help me grow. Because I want to help someone else grow. I want to help someone else elevate. That's all I want in a partner. I want to see them elevate and grow and accomplish anything that they set their mind to. And I want someone to be able to match my energy, match my freak. Okay? And that's a non-negotiable for me. You don't understand how many dates as of lately. I really want to make another episode on how I've been going about dating, in detail. Because for a long time, I was literally going on dates. And there was times where I met someone with a really good connection. They were hot. And I felt them starting to ghost me a little bit. I felt them trying to watch my stories and not respond. I'm blocked. And that shit there's times I've cried because I'm a sensitive fucking Cancer. But there's times I cried because I'm damn. I started, we're humans, especially women. Especially me being a fucking hopeless romantic, I'll see the potential in someone really fucking quick. But then I had to put, the goal over my feelings. And that's what, Shira 7 talks about so much. And a lot of people need to develop that mindset. Put your goals over your feelings. Because if you put your feelings over your goals, you're going to get fucked. No lube, bitch. You're going to get fucked with no lube. Because, oh my goodness, can you imagine? There were so many guys I was speaking to, a couple months ago, and I felt them trying to fuck around with me, trying to sit there and be you should come over. No, take me out on a date. And then they'll start getting very iffy about it. I'm the true love of my life wouldn't do that to me. And not only that, I won't settle for that. I don't care how much I started to like them and started to paint a whole fucking life with them. I know. I've done so much better with that, though. Because I used to, like, literally on the first conversation, I'll be like, oh my God, I can imagine them being in my life, meeting my friends. I used to be that delusional bitch. And you know what? You can still live you can still be a romantic and still have these, like, feelings and desires, but your goal needs to be above your feelings. You need to sit there and be like, okay, this person's really nice. We had a connection and the vibe was so nice. But he started ghosting me a bit. He started, like, you know, being very stingy on taking me out on dates. Like, not, like, spoiling me the way that I desire. Blocked. Why? Because I know the universe ain't gonna prevent whoever's meant to be in my life and give me everything that I desire to come my way. They're not gonna prevent that from happening. So a part of me is like, okay, if I end it with you, it clearly doesn't work out and you don't get me exactly what I want, you're not it. Like, that's the thing that I want people to develop, that mindset of stop settling for anything that's not in your little checkbox list. If this person's like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for marriage, and you really want marriage and it's been a minute, you gotta put your fucking goal over your feelings and be like, I'm sorry, but a true person, I'm telling you, a true person that sees your fucking value. But that's the thing, though. That's the thing about really developing self-love, because you need to see your value first. Because ain't nothing going to operate in the way that you want it to until you see your value first. Until you see your value first. You're going to meet someone, if they see the value that you already see within yourself, bitch, you won. You won. You will meet somebody, I promise you, on everything that I love. You will meet somebody who will make you feel like everything you asked for from the person prior was just not even anything, like, extreme to ask for. Because you ever have those moments where you feel like you were asking for too much? You will meet someone who makes you feel like, oh my God, I was asking for the bare minimum. Like, you start to really realize, damn, the partner I was with before, I was asking for the bare minimum. And they're making me feel like I was asking for fucking Mount Everest and shit. At the end of the day, bitch, you deserve Mount Everest. So it's like, it's just, these men are getting sassy. And I'm over it. I'm fed the fuck up. And I want everyone, can we all, like, collectively just stand up? Can we just all stand up? And yes, you're going to have to grab your journal and just cry for a bit. And listen, I've been wanting to make a whole new other podcast episode, like, really getting in detail on how I'll survive my breakups and how I'm able to grieve somebody, especially grieving people that are very much still alive. That is brutal as fuck. So if you guys want an episode on that, so if anyone out there wants to start standing the fuck up, but you're like, Ali, I need someone to hold my hand and be there with me when I'm standing up, I am there. Like, I am there because I've been there before. Oh my, like I said, thousands of dollars in debt, sleeping on my sister's fucking couch to an inflatable bed. I'm telling you, I've seen the absolute worst and I've come out the other fucking end. And you can too. And like I said, if you were to tell that Ali 2 years ago that leaving was the best fucking thing that I ever did, and the amount of possibilities that I have for my future, like, the peace that I developed is so more valuable than just a fucking, like, memories you have with someone, like this connection you have with someone, it's not worth it. And you will reach that point. Like, I promise you, you will reach that point where you're like, whoa, this is not worth it. This connection I had with someone for 4 years is not valuable to the capacity of my peace, of my sanity, of the possibilities I'm going to open up for myself, the people that I'm going to meet, the opportunities I'm going to attract. I'm telling you, it's scary. It is so scary starting over. This is coming from someone who had to start her life over from scratch. I had no friends. I was working at a job that I fucking despised with every cell in my fucking body. And I just hated my life. I was sleeping on an inflatable mattress. And now it's like the life that I have for myself. Oh my God. Like, if you had told that Ali 2 years ago, she would literally be like, she wouldn't believe you. So I wish that for anyone out there to just stand up and stop settling for less. But yeah, that is everything for today's podcast episode. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening. If you're listening to this on Spotify, make sure to give it a 5-star rating because they need to get those lights on in some way, okay? And if you are watching this on the podcast YouTube channel, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. It was my goal to get to 500, and I really feel like we're getting there. We're like 400 now. Like, thank you for everyone who tuned in on my last podcast episode and left so many beautiful comments, for the people that subscribe, for the people that are tuning into my other episodes. I love you guys more than ever, and I'm so happy you joined the family. I'm so happy that you are here. There's so much content coming in the future, and I'm just more inspired than ever. I am just so happy, and I don't know. Like, I'm very neutral. Life is kind of just fucking me in the ass right now, but I'm also like, career-wise, it's kind of crazy. I did a tarot card reading not too long ago with my cousin, and the tarot card said that like my personal life is kind of gonna do an upside down. Like, it's gonna get very fucking shitty, but my career is gonna pick up so much, and I can just feel it already. Like, I can just feel this energy of like inspiration and all the pain that I'm gonna be going through, that I'm currently going through right now. I can just like share with you guys, and just turning into art, or just turning into something that anyone could resonate with if they do, or just turning into just my form of art. That's what I really feel like my podcast represents. And I just love you guys so much. There's so many interviews with people that I have coming up in the future, so I'm really excited for that. Make sure to subscribe if you're interested in that and the conversations I'm going to have with people. And there's just so much more to come, and I'm just so thankful for the people that are subscribing and commenting. Like, I love reading the comments, even if you tell me to go fucking jump off a bridge. Thank you for commenting. I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.